Kobbie Mainoo is expected to sign a new Manchester United contract this summer, and after scoring the FA Cup winner against Manchester City last week, it's more than deserved, isn't it? Well, in this video we're going to be looking through the reports which have come out this week and looking at the different sides of the story, because I think this is actually United working quite well. But feel free to discuss that in the comments. So first of all, let's look at a little bit of context. So of course, Kobbie Mainoo has come into the Manchester United first team this season and absolutely smashed it. Not just the goals in the cup final, or the very nice goal against Liverpool, or the very nice last minute winner against Wolves. It's more been his all-round performance which has just really impressed fans. I mean, since he came into the team in November, I don't think there's more than one or two more consistent players across that time. And when you're bringing a youngster in, they can be really exciting, but the consistency is the main thing. And Mainoo, I mean, other than that mistake against West Ham where he had the missed touch and they scored from it, I can't think of any major mistakes that he's made since coming into the team. And as a central midfielder, where those kind of situations where you can make a mistake come up a lot more often, it's really impressive. But Mainoo did sign a professional long-term deal last season. In February 2023, he signed a 4-year deal which would take him up to 2027 and an option for a further year. Now, people might be asking, why is Mainoo getting a new contract when he's currently contracted until potentially 2028? Well, there's two main reasons. United want to secure that future even further, and they want to reward him. So we'll go through the report right now. So we've got it up here. It's from Jeremy Cross, the chief sports writer at the Daily Star. And a lot of detail in here, a lot of interesting detail. So of course it says that Kobbie Mainoo will sign a new deal following the Euros, and previous reports have mentioned it would have been before, so this is an interesting point. It does mention that he'll be securing a long-term future. It doesn't actually, I don't think it mentions the contract year, but a lot of previous reports have mentioned 2030 as the ballpark that United want to get to in terms of years. But it does say it will be up to £80,000 a week on his wage. We can skip through. It does mention that Mainoo's agreed to the offer in principle, so it's all, the agreement's essentially done. But to get it all over the line, to do all of the media, I assume, which comes with getting a new contract, he's put it on hold until after Euro 2024, because he's expected to be in that squad with Gareth Southgate. He's been included in the initial squad. I feel like there was one more bit of information, but yeah, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, we've known this, and I mean, it would be worrying if it wasn't, but Sir Jim Ratcliffe is putting it as one of his priorities. Mainoo wants to focus on international commitments first before putting pen to paper. So yeah, that's all an interesting bits and pieces from that report. But the main thing I want to take away is, if you're looking at it from Kobbie Mainoo's side, I'm not surprised at all. I don't know. I mean, it's not a big thing, so people probably won't worry. But so, you know what some people think of England, where they're like, why is he waiting until after England? United should be his priority. But throughout the entire season, Mainoo had opportunities to talk about England. People were asking him, do you want to get into the Euro squad? What did you make of your international break? Blah, blah, blah. Every time he had the same answer, and it was, I'm focused on United right now. If I can keep focusing on United and my performance do well, and I get in the Euro 2024 squad, then perfect. But there's games rolling out every week. I'm just focused on winning and doing well with Manchester United. And I really like that it's the same way the other side. Like, now that United's season is over, he has got to focus on this Euro 2024, especially because a lot of people are arguing for him to start, and it would not surprise me to see Gareth Southgate start him. So if you go into the lead up to that tournament focusing on a new contract, new details, that's also added pressure going into the tournament straight off the back of a new contract. So it's a sensible move. I'm not surprised. Mainoo, like we all know, is completely sensible whenever we see him on the media, on the bloody pitch. He's sensible across all factors. So yeah, that doesn't surprise me, and it's quite a good touch, I think, that he is taking his time with this, because like I mentioned previously, it's not a deal that needs to be done and immediately. He's still got multiple years left on his current deal. So yeah, it's an interesting one. I'm liking what I'm seeing from Mainoo on and off the pitch. But from United's side, what are we thinking about that? I'm sure there'll be more qualms about what United are doing in this negotiation, which is offering him an £80,000 a week contract. We don't know if that's with or without bonuses, but I imagine there's similar reports which have mentioned that kind of jump. So it's safe to assume that Mainoo's getting a big pay rise. I think his last contract, he got bonuses up to around £20,000 a week, which is a very modest figure despite his age, because if you're looking at the team, he's one of the most important players. And 80 isn't too much, especially if you're putting him on over 100 before he turns 20, then you might be thinking, oh, but I think that's in the right ballpark. And to be honest, United have to have a really difficult job in situations like this. Of course, people aren't a fan of contracts at this club because of the likes of Phil Jones, Chris Smalling, Anthony Martial, Marcus Rashford, Sancho. There's tons more which I've forgotten to mention, but fans aren't a fan of contracts because they think that it can affect the player's work rate, like if they feel like they've made it, and that will probably be an opinion that some hold with Mainoo, and if he gets too much too soon, he won't be as hungry. That doesn't seem like the case anyway, because this guy is super focused off the pitch. But what's interesting is that a recent report from Graham Bailey, another journalist, who spoke to United in Focus, a really good website, he's speaking about Mainoo's upcoming contract, and he said the contract will have built-in raises based on appearances and caps. This is exactly like the previous contract which I mentioned for Mainoo, where he got it all the way up to £20,000 a week, and now I don't know whether the starting point would be £80,000. I imagine, and then he can potentially get it up throughout this 4, 5, 6 year deal. He can get that up to maybe like your 140s, your 130s, as long as the trajectory continues going up. So yeah, it's the best approach that United can do with the young players, and I imagine it's something that they've got across the board, but people will be paying attention to it because of this Mainoo deal. And yeah, that being able to reward a player while still ensuring that they're not comfortable is the best way to go about it. And if you're getting £80,000 a week, you're probably going to be somewhat comfortable. But those bonuses, the pathway to getting kind of a higher wage, and also hopefully some sort of like commitment on the pitch, which inspires Mainoo to keep improving, inspires other players to keep improving. That's what we hope for. But yeah, it's the main talking points from this contract situation is that Mainoo's now waiting until after the Euros. He wants to focus on the Euros, and that United are paying £80,000 a week, but there's going to be a structured deal to improve that or get to that figure, which should keep Mainoo on his toes, which is exactly what you need, no matter how talented he is. So let me know what you think about this contract in the comments below. Do you think that this is United improving on previous situations where they might have rewarded a young talent or a new player too early? Is this a modest figure? What do you think of around £80,000 a week? What do you think of Kobbie Mainoo? Are you looking forward to watching him in the Euros this summer? Because one thing I didn't mention as well is he could have a really impressive Euros. United aren't exactly where they need to be right now. This is the sort of player that other big clubs will be sniffing around him, and if you don't reward him correctly, he's a United fan through and through, of course, but if you don't reward him correctly and United don't improve quickly, there could be clubs willing to make him turn his head. So of course improvement on the pitch is needed as well, but you also need to make sure that Mainoo is protected in terms of his contract, in terms of his wages, and yeah, make sure that that kid is staying at Old Trafford for a very long time. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him in the Euros this summer. Hopefully Southgate actually decides to start him, but if he doesn't, that's well needed rest for him anyway. But I really want him to start alongside Rice and Bellingham. Let me know what you think of those three as well in the comments below as an England midfield. That's all from me, guys. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. If you're new to the channel, we'd really appreciate it if you could subscribe to the channel. Like the video below if you did enjoy it. I'll see you in the next one.